The sun had barely risen when I heard the clanging sound of metal against my front gate. At first, I thought it was a stray branch from the old oak tree swaying in the early morning breeze, but as I stepped outside, I found a bright orange violation notice taped to my mailbox. Unauthorized modifications, it read in bold letters. My heart sank. I hadn't done anything to violate HOA rules, at least not knowingly. I had only planted a few flower beds around the perimeter, replacing the dead shrubs that had stood there for years. Before I could even rip the notice off, a woman's voice pierced through the calm morning. "Hope you're ready to face the consequences," said Karen, the HOA president, standing with her arms crossed at the edge of my property. Her tone dripped with condescension. "You think you can just do whatever you want around here without permission? Not on my watch." I tried to remain calm. "Karen, these are flowers. They make the neighborhood look better. What's the problem?" "The problem," she hissed, "is that you didn't get approval. And I've already documented your violations. You'll hear from us soon." With that, she marched off, snapping photos of my yard like she was gathering evidence for a court case. That was just the beginning. Over the next week, I received 2 more violation letters, one claiming my fence was an inch too high and another accusing me of improper trash disposal. Both accusations were ridiculous. I knew then that Karen had targeted me, and it wasn't going to stop anytime soon. On Friday night, as I sat on my porch, sipping tea, I noticed her across the street talking to 2 neighbors, pointing in my direction and whispering. Her smirk made my stomach churn. I decided enough was enough. I started recording every interaction with her, documenting everything with timestamps. The following morning, I woke up to police sirens blaring in my driveway. 2 officers stepped out of their cruiser, their faces serious. "Ma'am," one said, "we received a report of a violent altercation here last night. Is everything okay?" My jaw dropped. What? There was no altercation. I was home alone. "That's not what the complainant said," the officer replied. And then I saw her, Karen, standing at the end of the street, pretending to be on her phone while watching the scene unfold. She had lied to the cops, claiming I had attacked her during a confrontation. The officers inspected my property and questioned me thoroughly. I explained everything, showing them the timestamps from my security camera, which clearly showed I never left my house. They noted my evidence and said they would file a report. Later that day, I overheard Karen telling other neighbors that I had been violent and unstable, trying to turn the whole neighborhood against me. That was when I decided to take action. I requested the police body cam footage from that morning, confident it would prove my innocence. When the footage arrived, it revealed everything: Karen lurking nearby, whispering lies into the phone, smirking when the officers arrived. It even captured her admitting to a neighbor, "I'll make sure she regrets moving here." I finally had proof. Karen wasn't done. The day after the footage cleared me, she escalated her attacks. A new violation appeared, this time claiming my dog barked excessively, even though I didn't own a dog. I called the HOA office demanding to speak to someone other than her, but every response came back signed with her name. She was abusing her power. I decided to attend the next HOA meeting. When I walked into the community hall, conversations stopped. Karen sat at the center of the table, flanked by board members who looked uncomfortable under her glare. "You're not welcome here," she said coldly. I raised my phone, recording. "Actually, this is a public meeting. I have every right to be here." The meeting turned into chaos. She accused me of harassment, of threatening her, of being a danger to the community. But when I showed the body cam footage to the board, her lies laid bare, the room shifted. The members exchanged glances, whispering among themselves. Karen's face turned pale. That night, I thought it was over. I was wrong. The following morning, my driveway was covered with eggs, my flower beds trampled. My security cameras caught someone in a hoodie vandalizing my yard, but the face was hidden. I handed the footage to the police, and they promised to investigate. Days later, another officer came by. "We have a new complaint against you," he said reluctantly. "Karen claims you've been stalking her." My anger burned. This was harassment on another level. The officer, however, had doubts. "Your security footage matches the times she says you were following her. It proves you weren't even near her." Slowly, it became clear that the police were beginning to see through her lies. One evening, while reviewing my security footage, I saw a shadow move near my backyard. I turned on the floodlights, but the figure fled. When I checked the recording frame by frame, I froze. It was Karen herself, wearing dark clothing, trying to tamper with my cameras. This was the final straw. I submitted all the evidence to the police, along with the footage of her trespassing. They assured me they were taking it seriously. The following week became a blur of tension and fear. Every night, I double-checked the locks, kept my cameras running, and slept with my phone by my side. Karen's obsession with destroying me had crossed every line imaginable. What she didn't know was that the police were no longer blindly believing her claims, they were watching her too. 2 detectives came to my door one morning. "We need to install temporary surveillance," one said. "We believe she'll make another move, and this time, we'll catch her red-handed." Their tone was serious, and for the first time, I felt hope. For 2 nights, nothing happened. But on the 3rd night, movement triggered my cameras. Karen, without her usual composure, crept into my yard again, this time attempting to pry open my garage door. Seconds later, a spotlight snapped on, and the detectives emerged from a parked vehicle. "Step away from the property, ma'am," one officer ordered. Karen froze, caught mid-act. The other officer's body cam captured every moment, her panicked face, her excuses tumbling out incoherently, and finally, her arrest for trespassing and harassment. The next day, the footage went public. The same neighbors who once doubted me now stood by my side. The HOA board called an emergency meeting and voted her out as president unanimously. Her reign of lies was over. Still, I couldn't shake the emotional toll it had taken on me. The weeks of fear, the smears against my name, the isolation, it had changed me. Yet, standing on my porch, watching the sun rise over a peaceful neighborhood, I knew I had won. Not just because the truth was revealed, but because I had refused to be broken. When I looked down at the final letter in my mailbox, an official apology from the HOA, I smiled. This battle was over.